Hello, everyone, and welcome to the weekly podcast series, Genco Keynotes. I'm your host, Gurdwara, and I have our guest, Singh with me, who is a 2002 graduate from Guru Nanak Dev Engineering College. In this podcast, we will learn from him. He is a software entrepreneur. So to share his educational professional journey, then we also believe that his experience, his lifelong learnings will help guide our youth in their careers and help them grow professionally. So now request Singh to please share us so what we will be learning from this session from this podcast.
Thanks, Gutesh, for introducing me. I really appreciate your time over the weekend, and I'm glad to be here. So, I just want to give you quickly introduction what we're going to cover today. So I will start briefly with my introduction, then we will talk about enterprise resource planning, and then within that we will also try to cover SAP Enterprise Information System. Apart from that, I also want to touch base something about latest technologies on AI machine learning. And then the most important, which is not the least one, is how like the fresher, how our newcomers, how our Gentonians can, jump into SAP and grab some of the opportunities in this area. And every time, whenever we go anywhere, I want to make sure people reach out to me if they need any help. I will share my details in the end. And in between, Gutesh, if you have any question, you can go ahead and we'll just stop and discuss those ones. And stop me if I try to go very fast or if you guys don't understand anything, so that we try to, make sure everybody get out of this something. And once again, thanks. So let's start my introduction first. Could you go to the next slide?
Sure.
Thank you. So I just want to give you a little bit history about me. So first thing, even I told Gujit, I was not BA, any intelligent guy. I was the average guy. But what I feel, due to hard work and most important thing is your will. In life, if you want to do something, just do it. Just do it. Don't scare from anything. So that's what, I think that's personally I feel where I am is because of the will and courage, no scare from anything. That's what it is. So now in 2002, I graduated from electronics and electrical communication. After that, I worked as a mechanical engineer. You will be surprised now I'm working into IT. So that's what it is. I never shy to do anything. I was working with Maruti, the Oak, here and there. But my core strength was electronics. I don't know what I was doing over there. But anyways, whatever comes, you cannot say no when you are a bagger. You are not a chooser at that time. So after that, my company was implementing SAP, and I get chance to aware what this ERP is. I never heard about ERP, anything, any system. So from there, mostly, people scared from production to IT. I took that initiative. I thought, let me, learn this IT skills. Let's see where we end up. And then after 1-2, you can say years working with that, I moved to consulting altogether. I joined IBM in India. Then I moved in 2006 in the US. I worked with IBM US almost 5-6 years. And then after, you can say spending a couple of years in the consulting with IBM, traveling across different clients, mostly from coast to coast, it was you can say always on the roads situation. So we got then paid. We thought let's settle down now. Finally, I end up with the very small company, James Hardie, because I want to do something my own. And in 2014, I registered my company, Bistec to Go, with the, a dream, something we need to do something. And eventually, I think first year I have not done anything. Frankly, it was literally we are just paying the rent. And as the market is changing in second, third year, we got some business. Our first client was Nestle, and rest is all what you are seeing over there now. It's been 6-7 years we are working into IT, and mostly our strength is SAP. And recently, because we thought apart from consulting, we should also move towards the products. So last year during the COVID, when people were like, sitting at home, we thought it's an opportunity. Let's do something different. And we started to build our product based on AI. We are using AI heavily on this, our product artificial. The challenge, what we are solving is like how we can read the documents, automatically extract the right information and put into the ERP systems so that there is no human intervention, there is no manual data entry, it should go smoothly. So we are still working and let's see, hope for the best. Like, in next 3-4 months, we are also having some our, beta customer who will see how it goes. Okay, so
Yeah,
let's
no,
focus. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, thank you very much, Mr. Sodhi, for explaining or just sharing with us your educational and professional journey. So one key point you mentioned is you learned software. So you were in a different domain like electronics and telecommunication, then mechanical, but you saw there is an opportunity, or the things are changing with
Yes.
artificial intelligence, machine learning, automation. Everywhere software is needed. And there
Yes.
is one misconception in everybody's, or I can say majority of us, including me, have some misconception that computers, if somebody do not have a bachelor's in computers, it is very hard and challenging for them to learn this skill. So from
Mhm.
your experience, what do you suggest? Because lots of people, they may be looking to change their career because lots of disruption has been there and it is coming with AI ML. Lots of jobs will be gone.
Yes.
Majority have to reskill themselves. So what is your suggestion if somebody wants to learn or come into a computer domain, how challenging it is and what kinds of tools are there
Mhm.
which can help them to learn these skills?
Yes, I think that's excellent question and very good question. I'm glad you asked me this. So, like me personally, I never done a single day coding myself with my hands. Not even a single code I have written as of now. But still, I'm working into IT from last 12 years. So, right, you said it's a misconception. Like in IT, we need only the guys who are programmer. No, no, no. We need the guys who can understand the business, understanding those requirements and working with the developers. This is one part. We need thousands of those guys. Okay. The second thing is, even for example, in my case, I didn't get chance to write a code or anything. But like I said, I also try to learn something new, though it's in my job or something. There is nothing, no one say like, if you say like, I'm a mechanical engineer. I have seen so many guys, even we hired mechanical engineers to make sure, because there is nothing called, if you want to learn something, just learn it, go it, and go on Udemy, go on basically this new online. There are so many. YouTube is even the best media. Call your friends, call your, who are in your network, who are into IT. They will guide you. So apart from that, like Khan Academy is there now, even in India, there's Educare is there. So many, open platform, and it doesn't cost much. It's like $5-10 subscription, and we are paying thousands of dollars to the universities and getting the same information. And sometimes, like you said, people think something and they have their own fear inside. My background is this. In my 20 years, nobody asked me what is my degree, what I have done. No, they just want to hear what I can do now for them. And in order to answer that one, you just go and learn something, just learn, practice it at home and just say, and go with confidence, say, I know this, I can help you in this way. That's what companies are looking. They are looking for helping hands. They don't expect anything from you. Like if there are only 1-2 expert I have seen in a whole, company. So don't worry, just go and try it. Did I answer your question?
No, yeah, absolutely. No, I want to stress another point as you mentioned that there are different hierarchies or different portfolios in software development lifecycle. It's
Yep.
not only a developer. So
Yep.
there are business analysts, they have project managers, they have product
Exactly.
product
Yeah.
managers, they
Yep.
have
Yep.
quality
Yep.
assurance analysts. So
Yes.
So from outside, you see only a developer, but there are other domains too. If you
So
have the
many.
analytical skills, then you
So
can
many.
be in those roles.
Even in SAP, specifically in ERP, SAP system, we're going to talk later. I will tell you, functional consultants, they are getting paid more than the developers, though they are working into IT. So this is a reality, that's the way it is. It's more what I personally feel, how effective you communicate to your customers. That's where most important. So if
Right.
you can understand the requirement and you get the work done from the developer, you are still in a demand.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
another thing you mentioned, like the statistics, if somebody has mathematical skills, so in data analysis or in AI machine learning, so
Yes.
those are the key skill sets that are required. So it is
Yep.
highly encouraged to everybody just to explore, just Google software development life cycle, whatever your
Yes.
domain is. If you are
Yep.
interested, you can find the options.
Exactly. And I'm telling you, most of the engineers, they have very good stat skills. They are pretty good in math. And, nobody can beat them. As,
Right.
you can see, even, and what machine learning is doing, it's nothing, it's simple stats. It's just putting those formulas and try to automate those things. That's it. You don't
Right.
need to be a expert in that. Just start from somewhere, and during the years, you automatically is gonna be big expert. You start from today very low. In 10 years, people is gonna call you. He's the expert standing over there. That's what I have seen.
Right. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, no, thank you. Now, moving along, as you mentioned the term SAP. So I think
Yep.
majority of us may have heard this term in our lifetime. So it correlates with the ERP or Enterprise Resources Planning. So now let's see what the
Yeah. Let's
ERP
get
is.
it. Yeah. Exactly. So when I say enterprise resource planning, so first I want to make sure, like, I want what is resources. Resources can be a human, can be a machine, can be different departments, can be a finance, can be anything, any resource in any business, in any enterprise. Somebody has to plan it. Otherwise, business cannot run it. Any successful companies, the very first, most of the time they spend on the planning part. Even like the Gutesh, like you work in Caltrans, most of the time when project planning is the most important part.
Right.
Similarly, these companies, they want to have a system which can, plan each and everything in a detailed way. So what, like, in 90s, 60s, 70s, this concept started, let's automate, let's build some computer system which can do some of the tasks and which can make their life easy for all the people in the enterprise. And that's what it comes, enterprise resources planning. And now we basically, from last so many years, the business is changing completely. This AI is coming into the picture, and even now cloud coming into the picture eventually. So they are trying to automate so many things in a very short period, and we will talk in next couple of slides, and then we can go. But like you said, what is enterprise resource planning? It means how we can efficiently manage our resources, and resources can be anything. Yep.
Right.
Let's
No,
go. Yep.
got your point. So, like some of the companies, like which prominently domain or just are main stakeholders or the key players in this industry. So just share some companies with us.
Sure. So in ERP, the biggest player is the SAP. They have captured 60% of the market. And it's not now. They are leaders from last 20 years. Even when I started at that time, they were the leader. And they 45 to 50% share was there. Now it's more than 65. The second player who is a competitor is the Oracle. Oracle have their own ERP systems. Then after that, then Microsoft comes. Microsoft is very good in partnering with small vendors, like all those, and they're also coming up. But like it's brand as well. Now people know about SAP. So if any Fortune 500 companies, they pretty much is on SAP. And that's what, again, because SAP is little bit lagging on the AI machine learning side. Maybe Microsoft tomorrow, build some better products based on AI and try to grab enterprise, resources systems. So let's see how it goes. And Info and Epicode also, they're also, but they are not at that level, maybe 5%. And then there are so many other, small vendors, very mom and pop shops. They also have 10 to 20%. Like you might heard, in India, Kelly Books or the QuickBooks in US these days. So any basically system, even Excel is also ERP system. It just like, it does not integrate with other departments, but if you want to manage your small shop or small business, Excel is a very good ERP tool. I don't, say bad thing about Excel, but only when it comes to the bigger corporation where you need to integrate all your people, all your business processes, then you need SAP. You definitely SAP is expensive, though it's not everybody can afford it. So, but again, like when you see the cost, the return of investment, SAP is, giving you more return of investment than the other products.
Yeah, no, Excel, as you mentioned, it is a very powerful tool, but yeah, as for the small businesses, big businesses where you have to integrate between departments, then you need ERP system. So SAP is a German company, and is Salesforce, it is also one of the companies.
Exactly, very good. You bring that Salesforce. So Salesforce, difference between SAP and Salesforce is only focused on the sales, CRM, what I say, customer relationship management tool. So if you need, even Salesforce is picking up from last 5-6 years like anything, like crazy. Especially in California, they are beating SAP or any other Microsoft anything. As long as you have a sales team, it seems like in California everybody needs Salesforce, and there's a lot of opportunity for the freshers because they are hiring like crazy. And if you, even I would say, just go and do a training from someone and put your resume across the companies. There's a chance like somebody's gonna call you back. And SAP, because like SAP people, expert people are available, so difficult to break it. So Salesforce is a good. It's also ERP system.
Yeah, as you mentioned, so you can get the certification. So I know that Salesforce has their own certifications, Oracle has their own certifications.
Yes.
So SAP, Microsoft, do they have their own certifications which one can get?
Yes. SAP has their own certifications, and you go online these days because of COVID. They are giving you. Otherwise, when we appeared like we went to the center, and SAP is expensive at that time. Even certification is expensive. Learning training is expensive, but Salesforce has certification, as Oracle has the certification, and let me tell you a difference between certifications and how it can help you if you really want. So there are two things. If you are already working, you don't need certification, believe me.
Right.
Only like, let's say now you are a fresher and somebody, there are two guys applying, okay? One guy doesn't have a certificate, one has it. And both are good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick the guy who is certified. That's what it is.
Right.
Otherwise, if it's a cheap, I will say go for it, but SAP is not cheap. So it's like, they take a lot of money. I don't understand why, but yeah. But again, if you have some money, do the certification. It will definitely, your resume is going to get shortlisted. It's kind of authentication you are putting across your clients as well as to the companies who's hiring you.
Yeah, no, earlier you also mentioned like Udemy, LinkedIn Learning. So they have also certifications. So they are not that costly, but yeah, so for the sake of, so your resume can stand out.
Exactly. So for me, I normally, for me, like it's all personal, I don't want to say like, my objective is to learn, okay? Learn from anywhere, learn from, you're from peers, learn from Google, learn from your friends.
Right.
As long as you are learning, if you are interested into ERP, go and build your network. Try to reach out the people. And you need not to go to big universities and pay a lot of money. You make the money, then go to that university to get certified. I will put this way. When you are a student, you just need something to start with, and there's a lot of free learning, like you said, LinkedIn Learning Hub. SAP also has free courses. Go enroll for those. And if you are interested, then go for the upgrade courses, which are where you pay a little bit money here and there. Yep.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, Oracle, go to their website. It also have tons of free material which they teach because they own Java, so they have all the learning material that is out there.
Yep.
Now, if we go into a little bit more detail, so how companies they implement the ERP system and these solutions?
Yes, it's like typically any like you said your software development life cycle the same way. So what but ERP implementations are little different because it's first thing it's very expensive. It's a millions dollar kind of project, and now so what most important thing is when any project start in any company, first you need to identify the goals and the objectives. And then you make sure that you have some KPIs against those goals and objectives. As you know, you implement after 1 to months, 3 months, 6 months, you need to make sure where you want to be. So based on that, you pick the product. Don't always think, oh, we have a money, we have this one, we're gonna buy SAP, we're gonna buy Oracle, we're gonna buy that. Just think what we are trying to solve in your enterprise. Based on that, then pick the product which is a fit for your business. Sometimes we have seen even in SAP companies, oh, my competitor has this product, I want to buy this one. So you need it or not, I don't understand, mentality. So first understand what do you want to achieve in your business, then buy the product. And secondly, how this SAP implementation happens is the same normally. We build a team. In the team, you have project sponsor, you have program manager, you have program directors, project managers, functional consultants, technical. That's where the functional consultant, like you said, they don't do single line of code. What their jobs is, they work with the business. Business doesn't have a time. They hire you so that you can understand their business and work with the developer. So that's where these functional consultants bridging the gap. The technical guys, they write a code, they don't have a time to understand the business and go and talk to them. So that's why they need some functional guys who can understand the business better. So and they are equivalent, you can say like the developers. I don't see any problem, even they can learn during the project. I've seen people learning, if you are fond of coding, just learn it during the project. Right. And then let's say you finalize that team, then you go, normally what the next step is you acquire the software partner or an implementation partner, then you buy the hardware specifically if you need it. These days everything is in the cloud, even that it's very easy, but still sometimes you need instances, you buy those, get the software licenses, and then finally when everything is ready, you kick off the project. One thing is like I have seen in the companies, they build these, ERP very high end, like AI is very, but people are not ready for that change. They are still, working in old systems, old legacy systems. So you need to make sure, like, you implement change management strategy in the very first place. Right. And this change means, like, even for me, like if somebody asks me, I need to move from my Windows computer to Apple, sometimes it's very hard for me. It's hard, but once you start to use, it's easy. That's how it is. Right. So same people, when you implement ERP, there's a lot of, noise. They won't let you easily implement. People don't want to change. They are accustomed to some ERP package. That's why you need change management strategy in the very first place. And then
in this implementation, so there is a big team, as you mentioned, that functional consultants, exactly. We can say they are business analysts or they are business system consultants. So any listener, they can Google it. So they are the bridge. So the stakeholders, they will be laymen in coding. They will be telling you what they need and to interpret it, document it, create the FSDs, create the functional requirement documents or business requirement documents. Yes. They will translate that information to the developers. Yes, exactly. You're right. So anybody who has, I'm glad you know a lot of things, man. Right. Anybody who has communication skills. So maybe as things are changing, software is bringing more job opportunities. They can learn about it. They can do some courses, and if they want to do a transition, so there are opportunities available. Lot of opportunities available. It's like, sometimes, what I feel like patience is also important. I have seen young ones like, I applied for 10 companies, Google is calling me, my friend, he got it. So might be he has, luck is also plays in first job, there is also luck plays a lot of role, whom also plays a lot of role. Right. I think if I see my first job is whom I know,
And later on, it's not the whom it's your, what you learn from the previous job so that you can, contribute to the next organizations.
Right.
That's how we, yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Yep,
No,
yep.
moving along now, as you mentioned, SAP, that is the biggest player in this ERP. So just
Yeah.
how can we correlate the SAP and the ERP system?
Yeah, definitely. So any ERP system, but like I said, if somebody wants to join ERP system, I personally prefer go into SAP because there, where the money is, you need to follow that one, as simple as. So SAP is a leader from so many years, from last 20 years into ERP. So now SAP, even they change, they earlier used to have in premises, now everything is going on the cloud. But as you are newcomers, you might not have seen the MDC, you directly move into cloud. There is no way, like, nobody's going to stop you. That's what you need to learn, how SAP is on the cloud. It's like a web app. It's very easy. Similarly, SAP also changed their strategy. Earlier when we started, at that time, company objective was to just collect the data. We just need to collect the data. Now every company has a lot of data. That days are gone. Now they are thinking about how you can bring the analytics for us, how you can bring the deep insights from our data. What is our data story? So SAP is calling themselves as well now. They are calling, it's not a SAP ERP implementation. We are doing a business transformation. So what it means, like, we know you already have a data, you're using our product, how, we're gonna, now giving you different analytics, different predictive stories, or whatever you call it these days.
Right.
So on the other side, I also want to bring, like, how SAP, like look overall business. So I want to give you a little bit, I use these technical words little bit. I want to make sure, like, whatever, these are the industry jargons. So I thought, let me add 2-3 minutes on this one so that people can understand. Everybody knows this one, but when they go to the industry, people might be using these words. So I thought, order to cash is nothing. It's a sales and distribution. Sales, what is sales is marketing team. So the new words is like, okay, I get a order and now I need to get a cash. So that's what called a order to cash. So any ERP system, that ERP system need to have a capability getting the order, and then against that order, I need to collect the payment. So SAP has that, pretty much everything in that. Then procure to pay is nothing. It's a purchasing in simple words. So some people also call it as a material management. So I'm procuring, I'm, purchasing something and I need to pay to the vendor. That capability needs to be in the SAP or any system, any ERP system. And especially talking SAP, SAP has those capabilities. Then forecast to produce is, so it's nothing. Now I'm a production guy. I get a sales order. I sometimes even I don't get a sales order. I cannot shut down my machine. I forecast it. Against that forecast, I produce something. I manufacture something, and they call it as the F2S. Similarly, R2R is record to report is nothing. It's a financial planning. How much accountancy or everything basically comes into R2R, record to report we call it is. So if somebody is auditing how much payment has been made, how much is the profit coming, what is our GL looks like, all those things comes. Then the last but not the least is the security and the compliances. So these are the technical guys, who make sure, like, security is good. Nobody is entering into ERP system and try to get the data out from whatever the way. So we have that team as well comes into picture, and compliance is like, we want to make sure everybody has a right access of the information. We are not just opening our system to everyone. So those are the different teams who work, and in SAP we also call those are the different modules. So module is nothing like it's a component of the ERP system. What it does basically, like I said, these are the different departments. Against that, the SAP what they have their package application, and they call it as a module. And we have SAP PP means production planning, MM is material management. All those are different modules. So let's move on.
So the job opportunities will be module wise. So the training,
Exactly.
if
Yes.
somebody wants to go into the SAP
Yes.
website and wants to look at the trainings, so
Yes.
they can find
Exactly.
module wise trainings, and whichever is appealing to
Mhm.
them, they can take it.
Yep. And the job opportunity, you just need to learn one module. That's what I'm saying. Just learn one module. And in order to one module, the time duration, if you spend, let's say, 6 to 8 hours, you can learn it pretty much in 2 months. You don't
Right.
need more than that. In 2 months, you are in a job. And and 1 month you can, if you want, you can practice more in 3 months so that you can break all interviews for that module. Yep.
So with that, I
Thank
want to
you.
thank everybody for watching. So please do send us your questions that you need to get answered and your feedback and suggestion for the topics that you want to listen. So see you in the next episode. Stay healthy and stay blessed. Thank you.